The SATs are probably the most important test you'll take as a high school student. They can help determine what college you'll get into, how much scholarship money you'll get, and a number of other things. The good news is that these tests aren't a one-time deal. You can take the SATs more than once, the PSATs as a 10th or 11th grader, and the SAT 8 or 9 as an 8th or 9th grader. In addition, there are resources we have to help you study and improve your score from time to time on the SAT. Khan Academy and College Board have partnered to create what is probably the best resource to help you study and improve your score on the SAT. Let's get started in logging in to Khan Academy. To start, open a web browser and navigate to khanacademy.org. Here is the landing page. As a student, you will click Start Learning Now and be prompted to either sign up with Facebook, Gmail, or sign up with email. Now you can sign up with a regular email by putting in your first name, last name, and email, and birth date. However, after you click sign up, you'll have to go to that email and open up an email message to confirm that that's an active email. On the other hand, you can also sign in with Gmail, which is an easier process, especially if you have a Gmail account. If so, click that. You'll be prompted for your Gmail account, as well as the password. You'll be asked if you would like Khan Academy to work with your Google account and request access for it. You should allow that. Next, you'll be taken to your dashboard, where you'll have a number of subjects right here that you can click on. For now, let's go to Test Prep and New SAT, starting March 2016. At this point, you'll be prompted to answer 3 questions before starting the SAT review. First, which SAT would you like to practice for? All of our students will be practicing for the New SAT out of 1,600 points. The exams start in March. Only our seniors will be practicing for the New SAT, and that ends in January, and the PSAT is actually from the previous October. So we're all going to click New SAT. Next. The second question asks students for their zip code. This is to let them know about upcoming SAT events in their area, such as Saturday in-person practice tests and local study groups. While this is optional, it's advantageous for them to put their zip code in to know about this information. So here is the zip code for Two Rivers High School, 06106. Your answer to the third question will depend on whether or not you've taken a PSAT, SAT 8-9, or the SAT before. If you have taken any of those tests, you can answer A. You'll be prompted to sign into collegeboard.org, and your scores will automatically be sent from College Board over to Khan Academy. Khan Academy will instantly make a personalized learning plan for you, and you won't have to take any sort of diagnostic test. On the other hand, if you have not taken any of these tests, you'll select option B to take your first diagnostic quiz, which will place you and give you your own personalized learning plan. We'll cover both options in this video, starting first with option A, if you have taken one of the SAT or PSAT tests, and then with option B. If you have not taken an SAT test, feel free to skip ahead until you've seen the screen that says Taking the Diagnostic Test. So, first, option A. Connecting with College Board for students who have taken the SAT 8-9, PSAT, or SAT and want to link their College Board scores to Khan Academy. If you already haven't, go ahead and select option A to sign up to collegeboard.org and click Onward. Next, you'll be sent to a College Board website where you're asked to sign in with a username and password. This username and password you've created before to use on College Board. If you haven't, you can also click Sign Up to create an account on collegeboard.com. However, that tutorial will not be covered in this video. Once you have your username and password, please click Sign In. Next, a request for approval. Khan Academy will ask to link to College Board to share your scores and to continue to share scores every time you take a new PSAT or SAT. Please click Send. It will connect to College Board, analyze your PSAT results, and create a personalized learning plan for you. Once that is done, you will see this screen right here. are now officially connected with Khan Academy. Unless you need to know about how to take the diagnostic tests, we are done with setting up your personalized learning plan. Next, you can click Practice Math and fast forward this video until you see the screen titled Individualized Practice. Option B, taking the diagnostic test. For students who have not taken the SAT 8-9, PSAT, or SAT and need to take a placement test to develop their individualized learning plan. If you already haven't, select B, take your first diagnostic quiz, and press Onward. You'll be prompted with a Math tab and a Reading and Writing tab. All you need to do is go ahead down here for Math, or right here for Reading and Writing, and take these diagnostic quizzes. If there's a teacher with you, they will tell you which one to take first. For now, we'll take the reading one first. Take the quiz. This explains the skill levels that you may get after taking the quiz, but we'll come back to these later. So next, go to Directions. You can review your answers at the end of this quiz. The quiz is not timed, and most importantly, on this diagnostic, you should select I would be guessing if you don't know the answer to a question. But on the real SAT, there's no penalty for guessing, and you should always choose an answer. But this time, you can select I would be guessing. You can start the quiz. Each of the diagnostic quizzes include 10 questions. In the reading section, there's a passage on the left-hand side, and 5 questions on the right-hand side. Once you answer all of these questions, or select I would be guessing for them, you can move on to questions 6 through 10, where there will be another passage on the left-hand side and 5 more questions on the right-hand side. Once you are done, Khan Academy will grade the individual questions, correct or incorrect, give you a quick score in different sections, and also some energy points. This is Khan Academy's way of giving you points for effort. Once you are ready, you can review your answers or exit this diagnostic. Continue to take the diagnostic quizzes in Reading, Writing Language, Quiz 4 in Writing Language, and Math, Quizzes 1, 2, 3, and 4. Note that 1 and 2 do not need a calculator, and 3 and 4 you can use a calculator. Just give you an example of one of those right here. Okay. Again, just like the reading one, there are 10 questions in each math section, and you can select A, B, C, or D, or E, I would be guessing, if you do not truly know the answer. The most important thing about these diagnostic tests is that you take them seriously. If you rush or don't read the directions on a certain set of them, or if you use a calculator when you're not supposed to in a math section, then your scores will not be reflective of your ability. They could be higher or lower. And since the SATs are such an important test, we want your personalized learning plan to fit exactly what you need to get a better score. Rushing or using a calculator when you're not supposed to will not help those things. Remember, the SAT is probably the most important test you'll take in high school. Please take it seriously. Next, individualized practice. This is for when you either have finished all the diagnostic quizzes or you have connected your College Board scores to Khan Academy. To access your individualized practice, log into Khan Academy and click the Practice tab at the top. For this video, we'll be starting next with the Math tab below. You should see your math practice recommendations. Below that, one option is to follow this list of recommendations of skills that you last missed on your SAT or PSAT. In this case, something like congruent similarity, linear equation word problems, and interpreting nonlinear expressions. Once you finish those 3 skills practicing, it will give you a 15-minute timed mini section where you can practice the new skills you've learned in a timed setting. If you scroll down the page, you also have a second option. Khan Academy lists every single skill you will need on the SATs grouped into different sections. For example, here's the heart of algebra. Below is a list of skills with a button for practicing them, videos of basic examples and harder examples of that kind of skill, and if you look at the left-hand side, a dial right here that tells you your performance on that current skill. For example, this one has 3 filled in, this one only has 2. What do those mean? Each skill on the SAT is given a level of either 1, 2, 3, or 4, depending on how well you did on the diagnostic test or on your previous SAT or PSAT. If a skill's at a level 1 for you, That means that there are other prerequisite or earlier skills that you'll need to practice first before you get to this skill. So you'll practice the skill later. If a skill is at level 2 for you, it means that you've gotten some of these questions incorrect on your diagnostic quiz or on the PSAT or SAT, but that you're ready to start practicing them and getting better. When you practice, these questions will be at an easier level. If you have a skill level of 3 for a certain skill, it means that you've gotten some of those questions correct on the diagnostic test or on the PSAT or SAT that you've taken, and that you're ready to keep going and improve your skills. These are medium difficulty. On the other hand, if you have a skill level of 4 for any of the skills, that means that is the highest level you can reach, and that you've been getting those questions consistently correct on the diagnostic test or on the previous SAT or PSAT. These are the hardest questions the SAT will give you. Let's look at a student example. In the SAT math section, there are 4 large topics that you can be tested on. The first is called Heart of Algebra. Now, these skills focus on linear equations, their graphs, and their applications, and are largely Algebra 1 type skills. Based on all the level 3 skills that this student has right here, I'd say they're doing a pretty nice job and could do some additional practice to get to that hardest level questions. But overall, a good first time. The next topic is called Passport to Advanced Mathematics. These build on the skills from the heart of algebra by applying them to other function types. And all these skills are largely things you'll see in an Algebra 2 class, like solving quadratic equations, radical and rational equations, things with exponents, polynomials, things of that sort. Now, judging by, there's a couple level 3 skills on here for this student, but there's a lot of level 2, so they have a bit to practice in Passport to Advanced Mathematics. The third topic is called Problem Solving and Data Analysis. These skills focus on real-world problems that involve concepts like proportions, units, and statistical analysis. And these are kinds of skills that you'll see all the way from 6th, 7th, 8th grade, middle school, all the way up through Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, through any of your classes. Things like ratios, rates, proportions, working with scatter plots, tables, percents. You might even see these things in a science class or an engineering class. This student has a mix of level 2s and level 3s, so this would also be a good section to practice, especially those level 2 skills. The last topic in the math section is additional topics in math. Now, these skills cover a variety of concepts, including geometry, trigonometry, and complex numbers, but the bulk of this is things you'll see in a geometry class. Things like circle theorems, angles, right triangles, congruence, similarity, volume, things of that nature. Big topics in the reading and writing section of the SAT. The first is reading. These skills focus on analyzing and identifying the meaning, structure, and purpose of text passages and include science, literature, history, and social science type articles and passages. So you can notice that reading doesn't just apply to English class. You could see these kinds of articles in science class, in history class, in any of your electives. Really, any reading in any class is fair game. The second major topic is writing and language. These skills focus on revising argumentative, informative, and nonfiction narrative passages. The third and fourth big topic is grammar and effective language use. These skills focus on grammar, usage, and punctuation. In these practices, you will answer questions about standalone sentences. On the exam, grammar questions will always be about sentences that are part of full writing and language text passages. So things like vocabulary, precision, tone, syntax, punctuation, a little bit of grammar in there, those encompass this last topic. And judging by all of the level 2 skills on here, it looks like the student is going to have to do a bit of practice with their grammar. Let's hop back to the math section for a second. When you go ahead to practice one of these skills, you'll get a series of 5 questions, multiple choice, A, B, C, D. Try and do the best you can, but if you're having trouble, you can always watch a video or show a hint on this individual question. But try and treat it as much like the SATs as you can, because on the real test, there are no hints. One of the best things about these questions is that once you answer a question, whether it's right or wrong, it will give you the reasoning of why that question is correct or why your answer is wrong. Be sure to read these as carefully as you can so that when you do get an incorrect answer, you can read it and improve on the next question. And here's a reading example, this time with 11 questions. Make sure you take these seriously. When you check your answer, again, Please read through all of the questions so you can understand what you did correct, incorrect, and improve the next time. Thank you and good luck!